Hey, danger, coming with them bangers. Tell me where my paper. Still on the same mission, trying to live major. Don't hate me, hate the game. I'm a player. Feeling like Pac, represent. On my block, try to knock me down, but I come up on top. Yeah, they wanna see me flop. Got a plot, want a lot, I won't stop on my pops. Got so many flows, it's insane. They don't really understand the game. Got a plan and it's plain, I ain't playing. I'm just trying to gain. I wanna get that big bag, need that big Rex. Blow up Tic Tac with a blue cheese at. I don't give a fuck about your feedback. Eat that, get back, sit back, watch me spit that kickback. Got so many flows, yeah, they think that I'm insane. Ghetto kids in a lot of pain, all about the bills, ain't shit changed. Danger, coming with them bangers. Tell me where my paper. Still on the same mission, trying to live major. Don't hate me, hate the game, I'm a player. If you a hater, I don't hate you. I'm just really happy that I ain't you. I just wanna thank you. You kept me motivated, so now I motivate you. There's a lot of cake, money on my mind like a banker. Coming through with them bangers, ain't no room for mistakes. Lot of stake, hustle till we get a lot of rooms, lot of stakes. Good kid, but I keep it gangsta. All gas, no brakes. Got cash for the case. More cash in the case. More cash in the safe. More cash on the way. Hustling all day. Ay. Danger, coming with them bangers. Tell me where my paper. Still on the same mission, trying to live major. Don't hate me, hate the game. I'm a player. Danger, coming with them bangers. Where my fucking paper.
Said I'm taking big shots, just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. They been trying to get me cheap like a thrift shop, but I told them it's my time, check the wristwatch. They been talking way before they even doing something. Whoa. If they wanna play, let's get a tip off. Ain't no silver lining, dawg, this some rose gold. Getting new money, I'm a old soul. Yeah, I get it bouncing like a pogo. Whoa. And I'm too cold like Frozone. And my chick elastic, girl. Told them we ain't in the faking, this ain't plastic, girl. Bought a new whip and cash, now my taxi thorough. Way I'm shooting like step, but my pass is bro. The way I'm playing the field, I'm in a league of my own. And now they all in they fields, I got them all on my phone. But dog, I'm hitting the climb, I got no time on the low. Way I'm shooting is messy, the way I'm hitting the goals. I'm taking big shots, just stop. Way I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. I just left, but you know I'm coming back though. Whoa. And you know I don't play by my rags though. Now go and turn it up to the max, whoa. Send a paper to me now like a fax, whoa. Yeah. Got 2 phones ringing off the hook now. When I'm in the city, I get looks now. I was going bad, but I'm good now. Said I had to go and put my foot down. Told them I'ma get it and go. Even in the summer, man, they knowing I'm cold. I got a couple checks coming that I made out the flows. Might get a couple more popping if I do it some more. I gotta do it for real. Said I'm back in my bag. All my digits are climbing just like they all on the dash. And they tell me slow down, cause dog, I'm moving too fast. Might go and cop me a Tesla, cause dog, I still got a gas. Said I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots.
top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Frankie Candles live stream. And Bitcoin, well, guys, Bitcoin getting a little bit of a push to the downside. If you watched yesterday's live stream, low-key called that level live, guys. We pulled into the local Fibonacci retracement, golden pocket /786. Looking for the lower high based off our 1 hour money flow trending to the downside. Looking for the overall continuation to lower prices. And here we are, right? Not super crazy of a dump, but we did get that continuation down after that perfect retracement into that key level we looked at yesterday. So what comes next, guys? Where are we looking to hold support? Can we still see a potential macro uptrend begin here? We're going to break down the key levels for you, and I have some new levels for you, some new confluence, and a major key level I want to stay above to hopefully indicate that we could continue some kind of a local, I don't know if I'm going to call it local or macro, but some kind of a bigger retracement to the upside. A little bit of relief to come in on Bitcoin because coming up and sweeping these highs was not enough. 94, 95K is not enough relief. We need more relief. Hopefully the altcoins can follow as well. We got XRP rejecting the key target that we were looking at. Ethereum, we'll take a look at some of the altcoins as well. But shout out to the Mafia. Welcome in, guys. Thank you for being here. Coin Hoover says POC. Let's go. Jesse says send it to Zero. Or no, he said Zero. Usually people say Zero. But shout out to Jesse. Welcome in. We got Darren Does Things holding it down. Show the mod some love. We got Alexandra G. Welcome in. We got Loki says, yo, what is going on, bro? We got Rudy in the chat. What is up? We got OGs in the chat too. Said I'm digging the earlier stream time. Shout out to Jose. Yeah, I'm gonna try to. It's not that we'll never go live at 5:45 again. It really is. I'm gonna try to go a little earlier. I was gonna stream earlier today, but I had a doctor's appointment, so I kind of got caught up. But we're gonna try to do some earlier streams, and then if price moves, we'll go live at 5:45 too. But I'm gonna try to get in here a little bit earlier for you guys because I know there's a lot of people missing out a little bit earlier in the day. We usually drop the market updates, but we're just experimenting a little bit here in 2026, expressing our exercising our free will, as I said yesterday. But hey, more sauce for you guys. So shout out to the Mafia. Welcome in. We got Perry in the chat. Welcome in. But guys, we got a lot to look at here on the chart as Bitcoin continues to pull back. If you learned anything from yesterday's live stream, guys, go back and watch yesterday's live stream and see why we were looking for this pullback, right? Doesn't mean we're going to zero, but we looked at the money flow, right? We have very specific things we were looking at. So if you take anything away, understand what we look for on that money flow and see how it played out today. I don't usually tell people to watch the streams from the day before because price action's old, but definitely go watch that because it's very educational. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's jump into it. All right, so here we are. A little bit of a pullback here on Biddy. And we did get kind of like a nice pop to the upside. And very specifically yesterday, guys, people were talking about, we had the short here, still holding a short position, guys. I'm going to make a video about this. Pretty crazy thing that's never happened to me before. Happened yesterday. You guys know we were showing the live short position on last night's live stream. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but for whatever reason, the exchange was showing the live trade, and we were talking about how my stop loss was at break even, but it didn't fire, and I was still in the trade, live, moving up and down, and then turns out I came back to the computer, tried to take some more profit, and it indicated that it just told me to keep refilling the order. It wouldn't work. Refreshed the page, and turns out I was stopped out at break even though that trade was there. I did catch the retracement at the exact level we talked about yesterday, so I am still holding another short position. Profits locked in. I'll go ahead and pull that up real quick over here on WeX, up about $1,200. Already locked in some profit. So I am still, not as good of an entry as I had from the SFP originally, but we were looking for this retracement yesterday, and a lot of people, we were talking about these Fibonacci retracements, right? Like two really big reasons why we were looking for an overall continuation of this downtrend, guys. Number one, we had the 16-hour red dot printing right here in all of its glory, and we also had our 1 hour money flow crossing over into the red, indicating that that's that market cipher B116 strategy, high time frame red dot, 16-hour, 1 hour money flow crossover into the red on the 1 hour, and typically when you see that money flow coming out, you are anticipating that crossover, which would indicate a continuation of a downtrend, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. Are we going to again see the same thing where we get a little bit of a lower high, just like here, for that bigger continuation down? And if we do, this this sweatshirt string getting in my way here, but what are the key levels that we're looking down to? Can we bounce from where we're at? How low can we go? And more importantly, how low can we go while still looking for the macro uptrend to continue? Because of course, with this daily money flow, second reason we were looking for a continuation down was the daily red dot printing here, in cooperation with the 90-minute money flow, also looking to come out, right? So this is like multiple time frame confluences there for a potential local continuation down. But when we look at the daily time frame, obviously we do have the money flow coming into the green. We have this major target ahead of us, sitting up here between about 95.3 all the way up to about $98,000 that I'm hoping that we can hit. So I want to talk about, can we potentially see the continuation down? Where do we really want to bounce to see that bigger move up? And of course, the higher time frame context here, not the weekly context, but the daily context, could still be a potential continuation of this trend. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I want to see for that continuation and exactly what will invalidate that for me, making me expect lower prices. So whatever money flow crosses red, we talked about those retracement levels we were looking at and even covered, right? Because a lot of people get confused on what Fibonacci retracements you should be pulling. Should I be pulling like super local Fibonacci? Should I be looking at, where are we at? Let me get my bearings here, right? Like, should I be looking at this super local Fibonacci retracement? Are we going to get the lower high here? And of course, there's no guarantee that you're not going to get the rejection here. But for me personally, guys, I like to look at the major retracements, which is, of course, from this last significant lower high. You have the high, the low, the 1 hour lower high. Pull your fib from that high to the low. And we marked off this level yesterday, right? You have the golden pocket, 786 retracement. Turn this purple for resistance. This is the level that we marked off. We even pulled the little volume profile that we had here. Confluent, actually, we pulled it to current price action. Confluent with our value area low and our POC, right? We even separated this into two separate levels. You got the golden pocket value area low and the POC 786. If you want to look at that as a full, zone, that's totally fine as well. This is where I took my second entry or my re-entry because I literally got tricked into thinking that trade was still open. Pretty wild. I don't know what happened there, guys. I don't know if it was like a computer glitch. I really don't know what it was. I checked it on my phone and the trade wasn't there. I was like, what the heck? Came back into the office last night and I was like, oh, the trade's still live. It was still live. And it was moving. It was like, it wasn't the screen was frozen. I've had that happen before where I look at the exchange, I'm like, wait, I thought I got stopped out. And then and I realized it's frozen. I'm like, oh, let me refresh. But this trade was moving up and down. It just was not real. It was like a phantom trade. That's never happened to me before. But Either way, I took that re-entry here because I wanted to catch that continuation down. Obviously, the bias yesterday, and we gave this level live right here, right? When you're looking for the continuation of the downtrend, you have your high, your low, your lower high, your lower low. If you're looking for another lower high, where's that high probability area? Literally for free here on the live stream last night, guys. There is that zone. And what happens? Lower high, lower low. To break structure to the downside. Absolutely beautiful. So, what is the anticipation at this point, right? Again, if you take it, I would recommend rewatching at least this portion of the stream yesterday. I don't know exactly when we started to talk about it, but definitely check that out because it is, it's going to be very educational because you'll be able to find these retracements very often in the market. But what comes next, right? Are we going to get a big continuation down? I have updated the macro volume profile. Obviously, we have been looking at this range here, with the value area low at about $89,000, which we have not come down to just yet. But as we are kind of back inside of this profile, right, even if I pull this back to where we previously had it, which was like just right down here, we were hitting our head, hitting our head, hitting our head. We're back inside the profile, so I'm going to go ahead and extend that profile to the right, which moves this value area low down to about $87,862, which is nice because there's a couple of big levels that I'm looking at. And just in general, if we just pull our full retracement here from the swing low to the swing high, you can see this is still confluent. It was confluent yesterday as well. You have the golden pocket, 786. This is obviously an area where we would be looking for the opposite of what we were looking for yesterday, which was the lower high and the lower low. We could, on the daily time frame, potentially be open-minded to a potential higher low coming in here for a continuation of that overall trend, because as this money flow on the daily is in the green, right, we could look for higher lows and higher highs, eventually targeting that bigger $95,000 to $98,000 level. This would also enable us to hold on top of that value area low, keep us inside this volume profile, which does keep that magnetic target of the doorway to that magnetic target of the POC open. So that's kind of the hope, right? We've come down to the value area low. Of course, you guys know I don't love the macro confirmations we have down here. We have no bullish divergences on the daily, the 2-day, nothing like that. But at the end of the day, if you're inside the range, you have money flow coming up, we can obviously be open-minded to a higher low and a potential higher high incoming. So there's a couple of different levels I'm looking at here. This first zone, or I should say the second zone, there's a little bit of an earlier level here, but the first zone sits here between about 88,340 and all the way down, which is confluent with the value area low. And then you have the 786 sitting here at about $86,492, right? If we pull up our daily naked points of controls, you can see we do also have a daily MPOC sitting right on that value area low as well. So you do have some nice confluence here. Let me actually pull this anchored VWAP real quick and see where this pops up. Not super confluent, but still in that zone. But I would say right here, golden pocket value area low, daily naked point of control at about 87.8. And then if we do want to slip that golden pocket, of course, this is a zone. You could push down to that 786. And then at that point, you just have to be aware you got to reclaim that value area low. And then potentially that would keep our structure somewhat intact, right? And of course, with that money flow coming up, pretty nice. And we're going to take a look at the lower medium time frames as well, guys. But before that, I want to take a look at this kind of upper level here, right? We do have an MPOC sitting here at about 90,197. And let me actually just hide this real quick because I'll pull this up from a little bit more of a local perspective. We have this old range that we were looking at down here, and this is a pretty clean kind of perspective to look at the market in right now, right? Because you have the deviation above your high. We're back inside the profile. As you can see, we were unable to break out, and we are starting to push down. This obviously does open the door to the point of control of this previous range, which does sit at about $87,300, very close to that daily naked point of control. So you can start to see even more confluence building up on this zone. So you have the daily MPOC, the point of control of the range. You also have your macro value area low right there. So you have a bunch of confluence there, right? And then you also have the Fibonacci retracement. So very nice, right? Like when you're looking for those high probability areas or the areas for that you're looking for high probability reactions at, you want to see, at least some kind of, significant confluence, right? And again, if we pull those Fibonacci retracements, come on. Let me zoom out here a bit. Come on. Bada boom, right? So we zoom back in. You can see a lot of confluence here. POC, the previous range, value area low, the macro range, golden pocket, daily MPOC. Beautiful, beautiful confluence, right? So this is kind of the preferred level for me to hold. And the reason for that is because it would enable us to stay inside the profile. POC is a pretty strong level of support. And then hopefully we can kind of break out there. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, Frankie, deviate above the high, get stuck into the volume profile. And, again, the next major target within the profile would be that POC sitting right here. Deviate above, get back in. Magnetic target of the POC does remain open, right? That is the highest probability target. However, when we have the money flow coming up on the daily and you have the confluence with these Fibonacci retracements to look for higher lows, when that is close to the POC, this is actually a situation where I would be accepting of not filling the entire profile and then, holding that POC to get the big bounce out of the profile. Of course, if that doesn't hold, very clear next target, right? Which is going to be that 786 value area low, sitting at 86,520 to 86,222. So this is really, if you just want to look at the Fibonacci retracement, that would be like kind of the simple way to look at it. But I like to show you guys all that confluence because it is important. The more confluence we have, the stronger the level. So if we are unable to get out of here and we just continue down, which I'll show you the medium time frame money flow could also be pointing towards that. These are the two big zones to look at. Once we start losing this, I start to feel a little bit more bearish, and I'm probably going to be looking a little bit lower, probably coming to take out this low at 80,500. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. The daily money flow still looks good, so it wouldn't be until we lost these levels that I would even entertain that idea. Until then, we'll keep our bullish goggles on here and look for those higher lows. Of course, holding the short from up here, so I wouldn't hate if we got the move down. We'll make some money on that as the Mafia makes money whether price goes up or down. But very simple. Value area low, 86,200. POC, 87,420. Blaze it. Value area high at $92,000. So there you go. That is the profile. And then, of course, you can pull the same fibs. And if you know how to get the daily naked points or controls on your chart, you can pull those up as well. You'll see those. Check out the beginner series and watch the tutorial on how to get those MPOCs on your charts. Yeah, less is more, 2 lines. Yeah, you don't want to overcrowd your, the confluence is important, but, I'm not always looking at all these together, right? I have the zones marked out. You don't have to have all these lines on your chart. Keep it nice and simple. Don't overcomplicate things. But other than that, the only other level we really have here, in my opinion, was obviously yesterday we talked about the bounce off this daily naked point of control, right? I'll even hide the range here, right? We had the daily NPOC. We got the move down. Said, hey, could get a little bounce here. We have the 4-hour green dot looking to print. We even had, I believe, some low time frame bullish divergences down there, potentially. But there it is, right? You hold the MPOC. We go up for the retracement, but what was the bias? The bias was lower highs and lower lows. Why is that? Look at your 1-hour money flow coming out. That indicates the continuation of the downtrend. So if we cannot reclaim this MPOC at $91,378, of course, I'll essentially just be looking deeper into this profile, and I much prefer this bigger level down here between 88.2, I call it, 88.2, all the way down to about 87.340. If we have to, last level of support down here at about 86,176. Golden pocket, you lose the golden pocket, once you lose the golden pocket, next place for price to likely go is going to be the 786, right? So let's say maybe we catch this local POC here, maybe a little bit of a bounce, right? But if we can't get out of this range, this is the next big target. If we lose the golden pocket, very likely you'll see the 786, and if you lose the POC, very likely you'll see the value area low, which is obviously all confluent, right? And if you really wanted to view this from a super simple perspective, you don't care about these local levels, well, guess what? You could just look at your volume profile. Simple levels. Can't get out of here, looking to work your way down to the POC. Lose the POC, you're looking to work your way down the value area low, and then if you can't hold that, obviously we'll be looking for a bigger drop to the downside. But the daily money flow still looks good. And of course, we are still potentially able to hold those higher lows. So that's kind of the hope. Continuation to the upside. Continuation down for a longer term continuation up. That's my base case. Now, once we start, this is the only thing, right? Once we start, 1-hour money flow crossing into the red, downtrend, that would assist us to get down to these targets. 2-hour money flow looking like it wants to cross over into the red. Of course, we have some green dots printing here, but when you're looking for the ebbs and flows in the market, those are those green and red dots. The money flow is always going to identify the trend, right? Even when we looked at the 1 hour yesterday, people, you might think to yourself, well, hey, we're about to print a 1-hour green dot. Isn't that bullish? Yes. We literally covered this in detail. Yes, that green dot is bullish, but this is the overall trend. You could just grab a trend line. If you have a hard time reading money flow, just grab a trend line. Is it trending out or is it trending up? Clearly it's trending out. That green dot would be looked at as a lackluster bounce for a lower high and lower low. Breaking structure to the downside. Where's the lower high likely to come in at? Your golden pocket 786. Where's it come in? Right there. And even if you pulled from the lower high, same kind of level, right? Golden pocket 786. You start cracking this 786, you would just pull up the higher fib, right? And then this was the line in the sand that we had, flip 93 or 94K. That's where we'd look up to that bigger level of resistance. Obviously, the lower probability. Why? Trend. money flow coming out. Trend to the downside's higher probability. Very simple. So there you go. That's what I'm looking at. Let me come back in. Oh, someone's saying no sound. We got sound over here. Refreshed, all good. Shout out to Alexandra G. Little refresh, never hurt nobody. CME gap at 88,100 imminent. Well, let's see. 88.1. Pull back up. Do I still have that fib up here? Yeah. Well, let's see. Right now, I always recommend, right? People always ask me, why don't you look at moving averages? Why don't you look at this? Why don't you look at that? Right? And at the end of the day, right, I like to keep my charts as clean as possible. But 88.1, right in here on the golden pocket. So CME gap in there would make sense to me, right? If you're looking at the Fibonacci's, you're not going to lose out on that level, right? You're just looking at it through the lens of a golden pocket, PLC, right? Well, hey, fill that CME gap. Maybe we get the bounce there. That's exactly where we're looking for that bigger zone of support. So that adds even more confluence. You got the CME gap down there, which do also have a magnetic nature of getting filled. They don't all get filled, but a very overwhelming majority of them do. So that would also make sense. So even added confluence. Shout out to Fred. Thank you for saying that. Shout out to Dennis. Said, Frankie, complacency bounce next, then down. Okay, BTC bottom, end of the year expected. Okay, but QE comes sooner than that this time. I'm thinking, what if strong Q2, new all-time high, maybe, and then Q4 bottom? I'm definitely not impossible. But again, when it comes to, it's kind of hard, right? Because I wouldn't say that's impossible. But, I am my base case right now, which obviously, we've been right a lot in the past, but, I have been wrong before. I will be wrong at some point again. But at the end of the day, I am still in the camp that, with the weekly money flow coming out, and, we won't really have an update or more information on this until we get the bigger move, if we get the bigger move up. We have a lot of big resistance ahead of us, right? Like, even if we flip 98K, we still have some really big levels like the 50-week moving average. Like, once we start flipping the 50-week moving average, that's where I start to question, like, all right, where are we at with QE? Because at the end of the day, if they start printing money, that is bullish for risk on assets. And that's why I say that is a plausible thing, right? That's a real thing that's happening. That's not just you being bullish for, hope, senseless hopium. That's like a real thing that you have to pay attention to. Absolute valid piece of data. But, until we get up here and start playing around with that 50-week moving average, and we have like more information, depending on when we get up here, if we're able to, it's just really hard to say, right? But once we get up there, if we get up there, I am still going to be very, very cautious of lower highs and lower lows. And that is just simply based off the charts, right? Like, I just show me the charts. I'll tell you the news every single time. So if it looks good, maybe we get up here. Money flow is cracking back to the upside. We have massive bullish signs on the higher daily time frames. And then, my sentiment would be bullish based off the charts. And then maybe if that macro sentiment kind of fits in there, then it would all make sense. But with the charts, it's very simple. I'm a binary technical trader. If it looks like trash up on a bigger retracement, I'm looking for the bigger dump. That's it, right? I pretty much ignore the news because generally, even if we are going to get bullish news, like, it's on the charts first anyway. But we'll see, right? We'll have more information up there. I'll keep you guys updated if anything changes. YouTube mobile has issues. PC works perfect. Interesting. YouTube, ever since they changed the username format, everything's been all wonky. Sound working for me. Okay, yeah, we're good with sound, right? Shout out to Carlos, said obliterate that like button. I have not been pushing the like button enough, guys. Smash that like button. If you want Bitcoin to hold the high or low and get the bigger push to the upside, smash that like button. Every like adds 0.01% to the Bitcoin price. Let's go, baby. I think we can do it. Yeah, and the other thing, shout out to Jose, like, the other thing is, like, the QE could have a little bit of a delayed reaction as well. And again, I just stay out of that mess, right? Because at the end of the day, back here, massive bearish signs, massive weekly, 2-week, monthly bearish divergences with money flow coming out. They confirmed up here, money flow is starting to come out. Massive bearish signs. A monthly bearish divergence with money flow coming out on the weekly is very bearish, right? Indicating a much bigger downtrend, which obviously happened. This, again, show me the charts. I don't know what the narrative is going to be, and this is why it gets really hard when you have bearish signs on a chart and you start to bounce. People just get really bullish, and it's like, wow, dude, we bounced 46%. I remember it like it was yesterday because it was kind of traumatic. It was like I just started my YouTube channel, and everybody hated me here. But, of course, just giving the raw information, it's very hard for people to accept that this could be a lower high for a massive lower low, even though we see it clearly on the chart, not only just off the indicator, right? It's also just the massive divergences. Think about the timing of the cycle as well. You can incorporate that somewhat as well. But there's really no reason to be bearish here, right? Now, obviously, we were bearish seeing these divergences, and then once we started to see the retracement on lowering money flow, we knew the trend would likely continue down, expecting a big dump into a bear market. That's the chart, right? So, like, if you come all the way back here, and we're just looking at this, people could be like, you know, whatever, you know, forget the news, right? And a lot of people say, like, well, hey, like, we got a high, a low, a higher high, a higher low, 100K, right? And it's like, not necessarily. Look at these. You can't ignore these bearish signs. And there's no reason, no narrative for people to be bearish. We saw the signs up here. We see the signs right here. We didn't know that Terra Luna was going to collapse. We didn't know that FTX was going to happen. So again, that's like a perfect example of show me the chart, show me the structure, show me the money flow, show me the confirmations, and then let the news fill itself in, right? And I can't tell you the news because I didn't know this was going to be the collapse of Terra Luna and FTX. But I don't even think about it. I just expect the move down. These are candlesticks, they're numbers, and they're just candles. That's all I care about, right? And then just fill in the narratives, because then you're going to get caught up with like all this bullish news, right? This oftentimes pops up at the top of the market. This is how people get caught off sides. Massive bullish news at the top. I should buy. We're going up. And then all of a sudden you get the move down, right? So that's a perfect example of like, show me the chart. I'll tell you what I'm expecting. And then people will be like, yeah, but like there's no reason to be bearish. Well, I don't know what that's going to be, but you know, the charts usually show the signs first. And we do see price looking very similar to that. I don't know, and I could have been wrong here as well, right? There might have not been, you know, we might have not continued out. Maybe this money flow would have faked out, but we knew the higher probability. That's all we could do is look at the information and make our educated guesses off of the statistically higher probability situation, which was obviously the move to the downside here. And I would say statistically here as well. Although we have potentially QE coming, maybe it gets delayed, everyone's expecting the move up, we get the dump down, and all I'll be saying is like, hey, the charts were bearish. Doesn't mean that you can't get the bigger move up, right? Like, at the end of the day, these bearish divergences have given us a significant move down. Maybe it's a shallow divergence, right? Maybe we get a massive move into all-time highs. It just can't be my base case. I need to see information on the chart, not news. I need information on the chart to tell me, hey, things are looking a bit better here. The charts look different this time, not senseless hopium different, but actual information that's different. Then we can start looking for higher prices, right? Back here, if we started flipping the 50-week moving average and we saw the signs changing, we would have been looking for a bigger move up, right? You can change your mind in the market. You don't just have to gamble, bear market, and then if you see massive bullish signs here, you don't just have to stick with that sentiment because you want to be right? Like, do you want to be right or do you want to make money? You have to ask yourself that question, and I've been caught on the wrong side of that, right, before. But now I just listen to the information. Sometimes the information's wrong. That's where the risk management comes in. So there you go. Yeah, Jose and whoever else brought up that other thing, totally valid points. But we'll just see what the charts say at the time. Shout out to Fiat Level, I think is what that says. Said news and sentiment are fueled by market makers who know what the charts are truly saying. Can't deny that. Can't deny that. Let's see, murky waters here. Yeah, definitely not a super clean outlook. I would say the higher time frames are much clearer, right? Like, based off the chart here, this looks, I mean, I think most people can just see this, right? Like it does look very similar. Obviously, you have to resize it. I would never just trade off a fractal like this, but you take the highs, right? You start to get a little bit of a retracement. What's happening on your oscillator? Money flow's coming out. What's happening on you're coming up, right? Coming up. Money flow's coming out. Lower high, lower low. And it's all fractal, right? Like, even on the 1 hour yesterday, people might be thinking like, dang, how did he know, right? And at the end of the day, I didn't know, right? I just knew it was the higher probability. This could have been wrong as well, right? You're not going to get it right 100% of the time. But how did we have the high probability expectation of a bounce? Number one, off your key level of support, right? Tap daily MPOC. Well, now it's tapped. Get the bounce. Green dot prints, right? Okay, cool. Green dot. Pump, right? Maybe, right? But what's the expectation with money flow coming out? Lower high, lower low to break structure to the downside. It's the same exact thing on the weekly, right? Obviously different time frame, but it's the exact same thing, right? Like you don't even have to, like I try to simplify it as much as possible. On the weekly, same exact thing. Green dot confirmed. Pump? Maybe. I mean, maybe this is all we get. I don't know. But like maybe if we continue to pump, yeah, sure, this is good. What's your money flow doing? What do you expect? Lower high, lower low. What happened back here? We're bouncing. This is great. Green dots. Oh my God. Pumping. Beautiful. What's your money flow doing? It's coming out. Lower highs, lower lows. It's not going to be a 10 out of 10 times, but on the higher time frames, these signals don't happen very often, right? So they are typically very powerful. So I would still be saying, right, even if we come down from here, lackluster retracement, lower high, lower low, until we see new information, which we won't know until we interact with the levels and have time go by, right? Time will tell. The charts will tell. So there you go, right? I love being a technical trader because like I just don't even have to really, but what about this bullish news event? But then something bearish came in. Oh my God. Just keeps it nice and binary. Good TA. Shout out to Fred. I appreciate you, brother. Just keeping it informational. I really don't have an emotional bias ever, right? If it looked really bullish here, we had a massive red money flow wave, and we were about to cross into the green, I would have no choice but to be bullish, right? Especially we had like massive weekly bullish divergences down here, massive red wave turning green, right? If I could literally invert market cipher B like this, change the color of the green money flow to red, right? I am flipping the chart upside down, guys. This is not what's actually happening. But if it looked like this, and we don't have bullish divergences, but we have massive weekly bullish divergences down here with money flow coming up, I'd have no choice but to be drawing lines like this on the chart. But we just don't have that, right? So yeah, you got to be binary. You got to be agnostic, egoless, and just binary based off the information. So there you go. And then, of course, what would the expectation be there, right? Whether we come down from here, which, again, locally, we're hoping maybe we can get a little bit of a continuation and then maybe a bigger lower high. But if we get the lower high wherever it comes in at, right, what are we looking? Money flow comes out, lower high, lower low, break structure to the downside, right? Or maybe break structure to the downside. I would be expecting this, 70 to potentially 50, into the mid to low 50s, right? And then we can start talking about, hey, what's QE doing? What do the charts look like? If it starts to look bullish down there, I'd be willing to be looking for a macro bottom there. If it looks like trash, I will have no choice but to be saying the same thing I'm saying up here, lower high, lower low, right? But it really depends. I don't know what the chart looks like down there, but we will when the price gets down there. Frankie, 87K, you have also a weekly MPOC at the macro value area low. Let me just double check that. Man, I have a headache right now. I very rarely get headaches unless I'm sick. Hopefully I'm not getting sick. Weekly MPOC at 87K. I don't have exo charts open right now, and I'm not going to open it right now just to kind of not bog out the computer. But let me just see something here. Do we have a weekly MPOC? Yeah, so you have a TradingView weekly MPOC there. Huh. I didn't update it on my chart, but apparently I updated it on the so there you go. So the one you might be looking at is probably the one from exo charts that's on the chart. Actually pull up the shared chart. Hey, guys, in the premium Discord, you get access to my full chart here with all the TA. Nice and organized, too. This is very straight. There's a lot of work that goes into making these charts. Let's see. Oh, I don't even see it on this chart. Oh, that's the 3-hour. That's why. Yeah, no, I don't have it on this one either. Interesting. But either way, you do have a TradingView MPOC here on the weekly at, about 88.5, which is, very close to that value area low. I don't hate that. Just another level of confluence. That daily MPOC is there. And the weekly one is there as well. So there you go. Shout out to, who said that? Perry? Shout out to Perry. It is there. I don't know why I don't have it on my charts here. I'm glad you have it, though. What is the money flow indicator called? This is Market Cipher B. It is a paid indicator. Just so you know. Yeah, shout out to Panda the Prophet said, when you make money going when price goes up and down, it makes it a lot easier to be neutral. 100%. And that's why, back here, a lot of people were upset about, me calling for lower prices. And like when we started dumping, right, like we're in shorts, we're really excited, and people don't like that, right? Because they're like, why are you excited? The price is going down. And like the only reason, I never want people to lose money, obviously. I dedicated my life here for the past 4 years helping people make money. But you're just excited because the shorts are paying out. But of course, right, it's like it makes it a lot easier, right? Because it's not that you just have to like make money in the bull market and then leave forever, right? Like this is essentially just another bull market to make money. If you know how to short, you know how to make money on the way down. It's absolutely beautiful, right? And that's what we teach here for free. So it does make it not only the bear market's a lot more bearable, no pun intended, but it also is it keeps you in the market where you should be focusing on your long-term bags, where you should be accumulating. It keeps you in the market. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you updated with what's going on, so you're not coming in super late in the cycle and buying in on these tops. That's how you buy the bottom and sell the top, right? Because if you just buy in here, if you just buy in as price is pushing up, you're thinking, oh, wow, it's bullish. We're going to go up. And then they wind up buying the top, and you're just in at the wrong time. Shout out to Tactical Pew Pew. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Said, what golden pocket for the price now for the retrace for the 2-day green dot? I don't know exactly what you mean for the 2-day green dot. Yeah, I don't know exactly what you mean, but the bigger Fibonacci retracements, if you just want to look at like the macro kind of big levels, I would obviously be looking at the full retracement. No guarantee we get up here. I show this every day. I'm not going to pull. Well, I guess I will, right? We did not get our full retracement. I'll just pull it roughly. We did not make it up to this full Fibonacci retracement last cycle. We actually rejected a local retracement right here. So, this is obviously here. If we break up, this is going to be here. But the first one I would kind of start looking at is, number one, you have the one up here at around 96 to about $97,000, which is, of course, confluent with our next major key levels of resistance. We've already talked about that zone a million times. A macro golden pocket does sit in there. That 786 sits up at about $100,890, almost $102K or $101K. And then the only other one I would really be paying attention to is sitting up here between about $101 and $108K. But I don't want to confuse everybody. You would just be pulling these from like the macro swings, right? And when you look at it from a high time frame, it's this high and this high. Right? If you go down a little lower, you could pull some more local ones that we've looked at, but those would be kind of the big ones. Shout out to Tactical Pew Pew. Thank you for the super chat. Now, hopefully I answered that question. I don't know if I fully understood it. Shout out to Fiat Levels. Said, Frankie, when you get enough followers, it's a sign that you made it. When the market makers start hunting you and your followers, yeah, I don't know. Is that making it, or is that just a pain? I don't know if they would do that. It's, I think the stop hunts, the market makers, right? Like, obviously they have to find the liquidity, right? They're looking for the liquidity, but they're not. I think a lot of people think it's like an evil thing. They're just trying to wreck retail. I don't believe it's like malicious intent, right? But they do need the liquidity. So a lot of people think they just want to wreck retail. Like, I don't think they're sitting there like, ha, losers. But, there's like, it's like partially true, but I think like the evilness of it isn't as true. Shout out to McKay. Said, Frankie, I'm about ready to give up on trading. Shout out to McKay. Man, if I wish I could tell you I never felt like that, but I felt like that about 10 different times. I was like, I'm done. Got back to it. I'm done. I got back to it. About maybe not 10 times, but a bunch of times. McKay, I felt that feeling a bazillion times. One thing I would recommend, if you've had a rough 2025, I think I'm going to try to drop a little bit of a, not inspirational, but like more of a video, not a strategy, not a update, but like a video just talking about my journey through trading and kind of relating to you guys on probably where a lot of you guys are in your journey. Maybe you had a rough 2025. Maybe you've been trading for 6 months. Maybe you're just getting into it. But I'm going to kind of share like the things that actually made me successful, right? It wasn't some magic indicator that I found, although I have found really nice ones like Market Cypher B, Lux Algo, stuff like that. But it wasn't just one indicator that I found that made things click. It wasn't one strategy that I found that made things click. It wasn't a signals group that I joined that made things click. There are things that people don't talk about that are the real secret to trading. And it has nothing to do with any of that. Obviously, the strategy and the TA is very important, but the things that will actually keep you successful, like McKay, let me ask you how long you've been trading for. Let me know. How long has your journey been? Because I think a lot of people have unrealistic expectations because they're oftentimes sold a fake dream. Get rich quick. It's not how it works, right? It's not how it worked for me in any of my business ventures, in any of my trading, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it, right? You have to, I'm going to talk about the secrets that kind of really the real moment that trading clicked for me, and it wasn't an indicator, it wasn't a strategy, it wasn't a signal, right? It's all important, right? But it's only about 20% of the battle. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you out. But McKay, let me know how long you've been trading for. Shout out to Indian Martini, said, we did it, Frankie. Money flow almost in the red, and we got the SFP on the daily for the SPY. Come on, TradFi, dump to send PTC down. Shout out to Indian Martini. We took a look at the SPY yesterday, just kind of looking at that daily money flow, looking pretty bearish, right? It was obviously trending to the downside. Where are we here? All right, so taking a look at this, right? We looked at the money flow on the daily. Trending to the downside. This is obviously a bit more of a bearish scenario. Not bearish for maybe not necessarily an instant dump to the downside, but, you know, this could be a trend reversal indication. So, yeah, we did get a little, I guess it depends. Yeah, a little bit of an SFP of that high. If we get this money flow crossover into the red, this could cause a little bit of a downtrend for the SPY. That could drag Bitcoin down with it, right? Like, you know, we could have the green dot on the weekly for Bitcoin. We can have the money flow coming up on the daily for Bitcoin. If the stock market dumps, it might be able to drag Bitcoin down with it. So we'll keep an eye on this for sure. But yeah, there it is. It's close. It's close. You might be looking at a different chart, so you might already have the crossover. But we're definitely getting close there. Still, not a huge update other than that little SFP at the top. Money flow continuing to trend to the downside. We also took a look at some of these high time frame divergences looking to form. They're not there just yet. But we do have price just generally coming up with momentum coming out. This is the weekly, 2-week. Green dot still printing. Money flow on the 2-week looks pretty strong, but there's no saying that can't be the top of the wave. Monthly, obviously, we have a monthly bearish divergence printing as well. There's your higher highs. There's your lower highs. Simple bearish divergence. And just to kind of show you, when we saw this on Bitcoin, what happened? Higher highs, lower highs. Well, kind of generally speaking here, but even between these local highs, higher high, lower high, red dot prints, confirms, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, skadoosh. So we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, I would expect that to drag Bitcoin down if that does happen. But just hoping this daily money flow can continue up here. So, you know, again, it's not a guarantee that we have the high or low, right? But we have the levels down there that we covered in the beginning of the stream, which hopefully, and again, the line in the sand, right? If we wind up basically breaking out of this range, losing it, can't get back in, might be able to get that bigger drop down. If the SPY is dumping, that might be the thing to drop it down. We'll see. But we're going to hope, right? We can wait for the level, look for the confirmations, and then see if we can get the move. The one thing I don't love here on Bitcoin necessarily is this 4-hour money flow coming out. You got the green dot looking to come, so not impossible to get another bounce. But this is generally trending out on the 4-hour. 3-hour money flow also generally trending out. Same thing as the 1 hour that we looked at yesterday, indicating the lower high and the lower low. Same thing on the 3 hour. Maybe the green dot, lower high, lower low, right? Same thing on the 4 hour. All this money flow is coming out, but we're just hoping that it's going to be a local downtrend to eventually hold a higher low. If that fails, probably looking for the bigger dump. All right, let's see. Shout out to Jose, said it's taken me an entire year to even feel like I have a reasonable idea of what's going on in the market. You only lose if you give up. Shout out to Jose, 100%. That's one thing I look back and I'm like, man, the amount of times I got this close and just somehow kept going. Man, I look back and I'm like, thank God, whatever kept me going there. And I had everybody in my life, not maliciously, but everybody kind of just like, hey, man, like, maybe time to just go get a normal job and be a normal person. And I'm like, I'm not a normal person. I'm a weirdo. I'm a crazy person. I can't go to a normal job. But I look back and I'm like, dang, like I could just be doing something I hate right now. And it's not to say that, you know, everyone should hate their job. You know, you like your job. That's great. I think it's great for a lot of people. Just if you're one of those people that don't feel like you're going on that want to go on that traditional path, like don't let people talk you out of it, and don't hate on them for saying that either, right? That I don't think maybe some people are haters, but you know, a lot of people, especially your loved ones, your parents, your friends, your family, you know, they might just want the best thing for you, and they're gonna kind of tell you to do what worked for them. And what I'm doing is the opposite of what any of my family did. But thank God I did it. Thank God I did it. So you just got to kind of look within to yourself. Like, do what's right for you. That's the only advice I can have. And it's hard to feel like that when you have people you might look up to, right? People who are successful doing traditional things telling you don't do that. It gets really hard. It gets really hard. I had a couple of, like, mentors, I would consider them, telling me, like, don't do that. It's too risky. You know, got to risk it for the biscuit in life, in my opinion. You know, don't go, you know, screw off all your money or anything. But I'm not a normal person. Shout out to Sharknado. Yeah, we're in crypto, guys. We're in crypto. We're kind of crazy. Weirdos unite. Let's go. We're just a bunch of weirdos. But hey, we're weirdos that make money, which is great. Go against the grain, 100%. I know it's like sounds corny, but it's like 100% true. Go against the grain. if you feel that, right? Again, if you like your, like, I would never tell people don't get a normal job, and I would never tell you to quit your full-time job to pursue trading. Be on your trading journey. Expect it's going to take longer than you probably think. I thought I was going to get rich overnight. Then I was like, oh, maybe it'll take a month. Then it took a month. I was like, oh, maybe it's 3 months. And then at 6 months, I was like, this is a scam. I'm sick of this, right? Like, they're like, what is this going to take, 2 years? That's not worth it. Spoiler alert, it was worth it. Weirdo here. Shout out. Hashtag not a cult. Shout out to Crypto Sharknado. Frankie's a weirdo. Absolutely. I am definitely not normal. If you guys ever saw me in real life, I mean, I feel like I'm pretty weird on the live stream. I mean, if you meet me in real life, you're going to get this guy. You're not really going to, it's not going to be much different. You can't survive working a normal job anymore. I'm not giving up out of desperation. Yeah, shout out to Jose. Absolutely. I mean, I was in dark places. I was in really dark places, especially nowadays. I mean, it was bad back then, but it's even worse but now. And I think a lot of people are flocking to, they're realizing that, you can't outrun inflation with like a regular part-time job, full-time job. It's getting really difficult. You have to invest. And even like a lot of traditional investments are not outpacing that as well, right? So it's like they're going to things like crypto and hopefully not, but probably a lot of people going to like gambling, like meme coins, stuff like that. Not that you can't make money with meme coins, but you got to know what you're doing. Shout out to Saeed, said 75% of the vote said early stream. Will you change the time for tomorrow? Shout out to Saeed. We're experimenting right now. Went live at like 1:30 yesterday. At the end of the day, if price starts moving at 5 o'clock, 5:45, 5:30, if price goes crazy, I'm going live, right? If it's, even sometimes if it goes crazy, we'll go live late at night. But I am going to try to start getting some earlier streams out there. Price action's more exciting, and there's a lot of people that definitely want the, it's not that we'll never do the later streams, but I'm just going to try to, maybe some days we'll do 2 streams, but we'll see what happens. I'm just trying to experiment a little bit. All right, so let's continue on. I do want to take a look at some of the altcoins. Obviously, from yesterday, not really a gigantic update, but if we take a look at Ethereum here real quick, obviously getting the rejection, continued rejection, just like on Bitcoin. We hit that 786 retracement on the 6th, right? That was the last retracement level, last level of resistance. Also had the POC in there, but we didn't make it. Starting to get a little bit of a pullback here. Biggest level of support still sits down here, right? Fibonacci retracement, very similar to Bitcoin, confluent with the value area low of the range. So, I would prefer to hold the golden pocket, just continue these kind of higher lows into, as long as we hold on top of this value area low, doorway to the POC remains open, right? So if we lose this value area low, right, which currently sits at about, call it 28, call it like $2,900, right? We can't get back up in here. Probably looking down towards 2672. But until then, right, we still have the money flow on the daily, right, high time frame perspective in the green. Daily red dot prints, not shocking to see a push down here, right? Daily red dot, boom, right? Not that you can really trade based off of that. If you were going to take a short right now on this daily red dot, you've already missed a big part of the move. But if we can get this to kind of roll back up after we get a little cool off, we're hoping that we can hold these higher lows, get above that POC, and continue up through the profile. Not guaranteed, right? We still got to get above that POC, and we still got to hold the higher low, right? But that's the hope. Bullish hope here, based off information, right? Money flows in the green. We can anticipate higher lows. Key support is here. But if we get down here, money flow tanks back into the red, we start losing this level, well, guess what? It doesn't look as good, probably coming down, right? Information, data-based decisions. If this, then that. If we get down here, it looks good. Well, hey, higher probability of a higher low. If we get down here, it looks terrible. Higher probability of a dump. We won't know that until we come and interact with these levels, right? So there you go. Other than that, XRP, Ethereum remains the same. Solana, still the same thing. Just rejecting that anchored VWAP we looked at yesterday. Level remains exactly the same down here, 127.20 to 122.54. Once we start losing that 786, I don't like it. If we slip it very quickly and reclaim the value area low, again, I don't know what it's going to look like down there. We don't even have the red dot on the daily yet, so I would still be anticipating potential lower highs and lower lows locally, right? Not talking about this just yet, but if we can get that money flowed across into the green, it's going to be hard because if we start getting the dump from here, this money flow is not going to be in the green yet. So we'll see what happens. We'll have to look at this as it's playing out. XRP, we took a look at this yesterday, of course, looking at the bigger target here at the point of control of the range, which was confluent with our golden pocket, 786 retracement. We know this is a big level of resistance, and even if you weren't looking at the fib levels and you're just looking at your volume profile, there's your value area low, bounce off the 786. Once you flip that value area low with money flow coming up, which you indeed did have, next expected area for price is the point of control. Literally rejecting that level to the T, or tick, I should say. But when we look at the medium time frames, right, biggest level of support is obviously going to be the value area low here. If we lose this, not looking as good. But, 2-hour money flow coming out, or 3-hour money flow coming out, 2-hour money flow coming out. Green dot looking to print, so wouldn't be shocked if you see a little turbulence here. But overall, right, this is pointing towards a trend continuation to the downside. So just sitting on my hands, waiting for this, hopefully the value area low can hold. And if I actually jump back to Solana real quick, this daily red dot about to print, we're going to jump right back down to that 90-minute. Daily red dot, 90-minute money flow crossover, market cipher B 1/16th bearish setup. It's the exact setup we looked at on Bitcoin to catch the lower high and the dump to the downside. There is money to be made even on this little drop to the downside. Look at that, right? So when we look at that on Solana, daily red dot about to print, what's your 90-minute money flow doing? Starting to come to the downside. This is confluent, right? If that daily red dot prints, this money, maybe you get the little pop up here off the green dots, but if that money flow continues out, red dot prints, probably going to be a lower high and a lower low. Taking a look at the 1 hour. 1 hour money flow is crossed into the red. 16-hour red dot has confirmed, right? So that one's already happened. Maybe the daily's about to follow. Now, of course, any of this stuff is subject to just wacky fake outs. But statistically speaking, if you guys watch this show to any degree, they probably play out about 70. I want to be conservative, right? I don't have any real statistics on this, to be honest. But I would say like 7 to 8 out of 10 times you will see it play out in some form or fashion. So it's with a lot of the big coins, it's kind of the same thing. Let's stay inside this profile because that keeps the doorway to the POC open. If this money flow crosses green, we can look for the continuation of the uptrend, and then we can start targeting some of the higher prices, right? We will have turbulence in here before we get to the value area high as well, but we'll see what happens. Those are the key levels I'd be looking at. POC sits at 145.70, value area low, and technically the line in the sand here for me would be the 786 at 122.46. Set the alerts, wait for the confirmations, see if we can get the bounce. All right, let's see. Have you already liked the stream? No? What are you waiting for? Make sure to like the stream and increase your chances of winning the giveaways on Friday's live stream. Shout out to Jesse. Let's go. Sentiment is goatish. Shout out to Full Melt Mike, and shout out to Phoebe, my pet goat, who may or may not be real. You don't know. All right, let's see. Yeah, shout out to Fiat Level said even the quick videos when price action starts moving is great. Keep the Mafia level-headed. Yeah, absolutely, because I know a lot of people get scared. Oh, my God, we're dumping. Oh, my God, we're pumping. What's happening? Right, I like to come in there because it is hard, right? Like, again, even in 2021, it's like you start seeing these big retracements, right? It's like, all right, like, what is the context here? This is nice. This is bullish. We're pumping, right? I mean, hey, from wick to wick here, we're up 45% in, call it 2 months. That's nice. That's bullish, right? You're pumping. But taking the overall context, you want to keep that, you have to understand the environment you're trading in. This was a bearish environment. A 46% pump in a bearish environment is not the same thing as a 46% pump, coming out of a bear market, right? Totally different. So are you looking for the lower highs and the lower lows, or are you looking for higher lows and higher highs? That's where the high time frame context comes in, and that's why we drop those market updates. I was going to drop a market update today too, but I was running late for my doctor's appointment, so everything's good. It was the eye doctor. Let's see. Those market updates are so helpful. Yeah, shout out to Panda the Prophet. They are... Yeah, they're good for me, too, because sometimes I just get stuck on the live streams. I never want to get off, and I just wind up repeating myself, and then the analytics are terrible. So the market updates are good. I just have a limited amount of time to say the information. It's short. It's rewatchable. You can scrub back. It's very easy, less scattered. But the live streams are fun. The live streams are, we can answer questions. We can take a look at people's altcoins, whatever they want. Shout out to Big Daddy. Said, I don't know what time zone you're in, but definitely stream earlier. Man, it's like an overwhelming majority of people. But definitely, that's the goal. I'm going to try to stream a little bit earlier during the day in 2026. I don't know if we're going to pick like an exact time because, again, it's like, honestly, if there's a day where price action is just sideways, maybe I drop a market update, right? We'll see. But I'm just going to make sure I cover all the price action for you guys and get that earlier crowd in here for sure. Frankie's the goose that keeps laying these golden eggs. Shout out to Fiat Level. Let's go, baby. Shout out to anybody who saw those levels on the live stream last night. I literally took that trade. I mean, I was already holding the SFP from the high. But I don't know what happened there, guys. Just to confirm, we got to watch this. That moved, right? The P&L is moving. This is a live trade. We're good. This is exactly what happened yesterday. I'm definitely not stopped out of this, but it's really funny because someone said they got stopped out at break even, and I was like, yeah, I guess mine didn't. It either just got really close to my stop loss, or sometimes if it wicks really quickly, it won't trigger. And I thought that was the case because I was in the trade here. Stopped out here at literally 9:15 a.m. I was like, whew, checked my phone. I was like, I'm still in the trade. They missed me. Continued down. Literally showed the trade live, moving up and down. And then I refreshed the page. It was gone. And I was actually stopped out at break even, which is hilarious because I talked about how I didn't get stopped out at break even. I got scammed. But thank God I saw that because I was able to catch that retracement on the exact level that we looked at yesterday, right on that golden pocket, 786 zone. So take the information here. You know, I don't give the signals. I'm not giving signals, but we will show you those key levels and exactly what I like to look for my strategies. So, let's see. Shout out to Jesse. Said, even if it's 3 a.m. my time, I'll be here. Yeah, shout out to Jesse. Jesse is like up early hours of the morning here, holding down the chat. So we appreciate you, bro. 11:32 p.m. right now. All right, that's a little better than like 3 a.m., which is, I think, 2 a.m., which is like usually what it is for you. More possible for 108K than 110K. Shout out to Omar. I'm always going to look for... Again, like I'm a reactionary based trader. Like, am I saying you shouldn't look at 115K? No, it is there, right? But for me, it's like, you know, get through 108K, focus on that level first. And then if you get above it, then you can start looking at the higher target. And when we look at it from a high time frame context here, guys, just to give a little, I'll just look at it through the context of our macro volume profile, right? Come up to like a daily. Right, and I would draw this value area because there are a couple of ranges I was looking at up here, so I'll just draw this as a zone. I mean, this brings you up to about 115K. And when I look at this, right, I say to myself, like, do we have a confluence up here, right? Well, we have the value area high. If I'm looking at this from simple volume profile perspective, you guys know, deviate below the low, get inside the range, money flow coming up. This is typically where I'm looking to hold the low, go to the POC. That's the next highest probability area to go within the volume profile. And then with money flow coming up like this, we're typically looking to flip the POC and eventually work our way up to the value area high. The reason I am not just, my base case isn't that we're going to fill this profile, right? Doesn't mean this is still valid. But the reason, you have to ask yourself, is this the highest probability? Well, we have to be cautious, right? Because we have major resistance on the way up there before we get to that value area high. One of the major resistance levels is the 50-week moving average. Currently sitting at about 101 to 102K-ish. It's going to move around a little bit. It's currently sitting at about 101.5. And then, you know, do we have confluence here? We do have confluence with other volume profiles. I don't want to over-confuse everybody with the different profiles. But if we look at some of our other local profiles, we do have a profile here. So, like, you might be saying to yourself, like, you have these levels, then you have those levels, then you have the upper levels. Like, what do you do? Well, hey, there's no reason to be looking up towards 113 to 115K yet. If we have all this major resistance here and we have all this major resistance here, right? It doesn't mean this level's not important. It doesn't mean this level's not important. It just means if we know that weekly money flow is coming out and lower highs and lower lows are higher probability, and we know that we have major resistance here and here, I'll just draw them out as purple boxes so they're clean, right? If we know we have major levels here and here, it's like there's no real reason to say that 115K is incoming yet. Because if we know that every other cycle we've never been able to get above that 50-week, well, maybe that's the case again. At that point, there's no reason to look up towards 115K yet. And the rotation, this looks better to me, right? At least for right now. Because if we can get back above that POC, at that point with daily money flow coming up, if that uptrend is going to continue that we've been talking about, this profile could have a high probability of filling, right? But that doesn't mean all-time highs. It just means potential lower high, potential lower low. Why? Weekly money flow is coming out, right? Little retracement, lower high, lower low. Trend is coming out. A money flow is coming out. Bounce, retracement, money flow is coming out, lower high, lower low. 50-week moving average, 50-week moving average. And, of course, you have the confluence with your, get some of this off the chart, right? You have the confluence with your 50-week. You have your confluence with your anchored VWAP from the all-time high. You have your confluence with your value area high. These profiles are magnetic. So if we get up here, major resistance, right? And then this is where I say if we get up to that 50-week, we start cracking above these levels, and let's say the 2-day money flow, the 3-day money flow, the 5-day money flow is all starting to look really good, and it looks bullish, which we will be able to very likely identify. Hopefully it's not a chop fest up there, which is also possible, but very likely there's going to be some kind of signal up here indicating whether the higher probability is a continuation up to the next level or a lower high and a lower low. But right now, with the way the chart looks, I would say this is definitely in the cards. If we start breaking above that, guess what? We can go ahead and we can take off these levels. They're no longer valid, at least as we're leaving them. If we come back down, they will be valid. But we could take that off, pull up the next profile. 108K, right? That's going to be a little bit of a resistance. And then, of course, if we start getting above that, you know, it's like this profile is not guaranteed, right? But if we get up there, maybe we reject 108K a little bit, and we could say, hey, is it looking good here? You'll have an idea if you're expecting the full continuation. I just can't call for it right now. So that's kind of how I do it. Start with the levels that are relevant. Like even right now, what is the range that we're looking at for the most part? It's this local range now. We're inside this range, right? Stay inside here, probably going down. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully I didn't just like super confuse everybody. All right, let's see. 65K in April. Shout out to Fred. If we do get a lower high, right, which of course, you know, again, non-possible from here, but again, that money flow makes me think maybe we get a bigger retracement. If that gets invalidated, let's just say, for argument's sake, let's say we come down from here. Next big levels, 80,500 for the most part is like a more of a local level at this point. But if we get a big dump down and we're talking about like real low prices, we got our profile down here between 70 and 67,470. And then the volume profile helps give us a nice blueprint for price. Like we can't get back in here. Money flows crossing red, right? Boom. Take out the macro structure. Now we're here. This is going to be some kind of support, right? But if the money flow is still coming out on the weekly, we could look for lower highs. If we get accepted into this range, the next likely place for price to go, because the POC is so close to this high, you'd probably be, you know, once you lose this, you're losing the POC. Next likely place for price to go, value area low, about 60K. And then what does it look like down here? If it looks good, maybe we can start looking for macro bottoms. I'll be the first person to let you know, right? People would be thinking, all right, fine, now we're in a bear market. They were late, right? If there's a bottom forming here, maybe we'll look for a macro bounce. Maybe QE comes in, it starts to look really good, and maybe we're looking for all-time highs. But if money flow is continuing out, looking for lower highs and lower lows, in which case I'd probably be looking down closer to 30K. But that's not my base case just yet. Again, we'll see what happens. Same thing on the way up, same thing on the way down. Look at the relevant levels. This will be the level of interest. Once we break out, or break down maybe, that's where you would pull up the next area of interest, which I've covered in the past. I won't go over today to save time. All right, let's see. Dang, I'm late. Shout out to Nick Dunn. Actually, we were early. Shout out to Nick Dunn. Welcome in, brother. Can we hit 50K already? So I can short this thing all the way down. Shout out to MM. Maybe we can. Maybe we can. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob in the chat. Welcome in, brother. Nick Dunn, you and me both. Shout out to Rob. No, we were early, brother. We were early. You're good. We're still, man, we're not even at 5:45 yet. But welcome in, Rob. Well, this daily SFP is looking like a sweep 84K, but I don't know if that's going to happen. It's still early. Yeah, still a little bit early. Shout out to Cigar Attache. Said YouTube used to say how long the live stream is running, but it doesn't anymore. Can you I think you could like scrub. Can't you scrub? That'd be weird if you can't. I don't know. YouTube's getting wonky lately. 58K makes me shiver. Shout out to Fiat. Yeah, it's not the most exciting thing to talk about, but it won't be the, it won't be forever. Like if we do get the bigger move down, guys, like even if it does have to be a big, massive bear market, down into maybe the 30s, right? There's going to be levels to look at in between there too, but, it takes a long time. It's not going to be forever. And again, this is the time where you want to pay attention to price, right? This isn't going to change. Like, even if we do get the big move down, not only will we make a lot of money on these moves, but it's not even going to change in, like, the boring sideways action, right? This has been really choppy, but of course, you'll always be able to catch those little scalps, right? Like, look at this, 4-day candle. This is, like, barely even developed. And you can make money on these little scalps, these little day trades, right? There's active income. This is like my job. Trading is like my active job. It's like my day job. Work, stare at the charts, execute, right? Make money, make money, make money, make money. Oh, I caught a swing trade, right? Winner, decided to run, massive profits, taking more. Oh, nice little scalp long, nice little scalp short. And then in here, right, like little scalp long, little scalp short, day trade, day trade, day trade, boom, big move, right? So you're like making money all up in here. And then you're also, in turn, paying attention to the market where all the opportunity is. Why is all the opportunity here? Well, because where was the opportunity in this cycle? You had to be here during the hard times to understand where the bottom was. If you weren't paying attention until Bitcoin was in the news, you were late, right? You don't want to do that, right? So, like, the bear market is the time where not to walk away from crypto. Now, maybe if you're not a trader, you don't have to pay attention to the chart every 5 minutes, right? Or every day. You can check in once in a while, but, like, you don't want to, like, walk away. It's like a huge mistake. People who are, like, super, all crypto's dead, all the exchanges collapsed, the regulations coming in, oh my God, right? And then, like, they don't come in until they're excited again. Late to the party, right? You've already missed, assuming you're not going to get in probably at the tick bottom, but, like, you already missed out on 330%, right? People were saying the bull run is starting here. We're already up 340% on our bags, right? You want to be early. You don't want to be late. You don't want to be too early, right? You don't want to be super early. You don't want to be super late. You want to be, right at the perfect time, which is hard to do, but that's why we're here. We're a resource for you guys. You don't have to watch the charts all the time. We're out here. So, oh, it used to be listed below the video. Can still scroll back and see. Interesting. That's a pain. I don't know what that is. I don't think we changed any settings. YouTube just messing up. 50K doesn't sound that bad when you consider we went there to 15K last time. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, when in doubt, when you're panicking, guys, when in doubt, zoom out, man. Like, this was really brutal, right? But, if you've been here long enough, it's like, well, hey, it's like we essentially just retested the all-time high, right? So it's like, extend your time horizon. It's like one of the most best pieces of advice I can give somebody in crypto is extend your time horizon. You don't have to make $1 million tomorrow. You don't have to have your first $1,000 trading day tomorrow, right? Extend your time horizon. Detach yourself from the immediate result. Delayed gratification. It'll change your life. Honestly, coming down here, guys, is like, this would not even feel like a bear market to me. Personally, I think I'm jaded because I've just been in crypto for so long. I've been trading for so long. I've been through the bear markets for so many times. This would not even really feel like a bear market to me, right? Like, think about back here. We endured a 32% drop to the downside. A lot of people freak out on this, right? And again, I think I might be jaded because I do this every single day. I talk about this every day. I teach this every day. I trade this every day. And I've been in crypto since late 2016. So, I think I might be jaded. I'm just numb to these moves and obviously being able to short them, which actually, shout out to the premium Discord. We did short up here and caught this big move down. A lot of people told us we couldn't short in a bull market. Obviously, we did. And we made money, right? So, but like, this is just like a short opportunity for me. Hit the 50-week, massive bullish confirmations, send us into a new all-time high. Absolutely beautiful. But like, a lot of people are scared on this, and obviously in your first cycle, especially if you buy the top, which a lot of new people do, 106 down to 75K feels like a bear market. But very clearly, if you guys watch, not an expected bear market for me. We were looking for the higher low for the higher high. Why is that? High time frame money flow was still in the green. We didn't have, we weren't below the 50-week moving average. This is massive bull market support, massive bull market support, massive bull market support, right? So like, now we're below it. Now it's massive resistance. Look at those Fibonacci retracements. Look at the money flow. Downtrend continuing. Money flow comes up. You're looking for higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, right? Also, the timing of the cycle comes in there as well. That was part of my analysis there as well. Not the only thing, but it was all confluent. Now, we've had enough time for a bull market to typically play out. We have the bearish confirmations. We have the money flow coming out. We're back below the 50-week moving average. That's massive resistance. If that switches, well, hey, that changes the picture. But right now, the reason I was very bullish back here and back here was a different scenario, right? We're now back below this massive resistance. And even up here, we see the money flow starting to come out on some of these much higher time frames like the 2-day. We say, hey, This is why we're like, we're a little worried about this at this point, right? It's late in the cycle. The 2-day money flow is coming out. The 3-day money flow is coming out. We lose 108K. Very likely to get a big drop down. There it is, right? So I'm not magic. I'm not special. I teach this for free. I teach my ways for free, guys. You could do this too. Just watch these free live streams. Took me 8 years to make my first million in crypto. Shout out to Independent. Yeah, it takes a long time. Like a lot of people, listen, people get lucky. Sometimes people just get rich in their first cycle. But it doesn't mean that, I didn't get super rich in my first cycle. I made a lot of mistakes in my first cycle, to be honest, right? I wasn't always perfect. All these things I talk about, all these things I share with you, all the tips, all the advice, right? Not financial advice, but just advice based off my experience, is all from mistakes, right? Learn from my mistakes so you can skip them. Hopefully your journey, the Mafia's journey, my goal is to have your journey be much shorter than mine because you're learning from someone who's like, let my pain be worth something, right? I feel like it's not a loss, right? I feel like I didn't make those mistakes for no reason. If I can help anybody out there, I feel like, my mistakes are much more worth it. Shout out to Trembler. Hey, bro. I'm actually going to write this down because maybe I'll make this a trade management video. I do have them, I believe, on the channel. They're kind of old. I'll make an updated version. Trade management. I also have one that I'm going to share with you guys, just kind of talking about my trading journey, which hopefully can motivate you guys and inspire you to understand that I did not start trading and making thousands of dollars in a day my first week, my first month, my first year, right? It is a journey, but you can, and I know it's hard to see the light on the end of the tunnel. If you're in that first year, if you're in that first 6 months, if you're just starting out, you're frustrated, it's hard to see that light at the end of the tunnel. There's a reason. I think the biggest reason most people fail at trading is, number one, they don't have the discipline, they don't have the psychology. Number two, I think a lot of people give up too quickly. They're chasing that get rich quick. They see the day trader on the beach clicking a button without looking at the screen, making $1 billion, closing the trade, going to jump in the water. And, it's not that I would say trading gets a little more like that. But, I'm not laying on a beach clicking buy and sell. Could I technically lay on a beach on a laptop, do TA and, find my entries and stuff? Yes. Can I set alerts, go live life, have a good time, have the freedom, and then, just get my alert on my phone, take the trades? Absolutely. That's one of the beauties of trading. It has all the location freedom. It has all the time freedom. It has all the scalability. It's like the best business model, quote unquote, that you can possibly have. But it's not just don't pay attention, lay on a beach, click a button, and you're good. A lot of people get sold that fake dream, which causes them to give up early. And I've gone through that not only with trading, but other online business models that I've tried, thought I was going to get rich quick. And the ones I found success in, I said to myself, well, hey, this took a lot longer than that guru on YouTube told me. I wish someone just told me that it was going to take a long time. It would have given me a shorter journey if someone was just like, hey, stop trying to chase the get rich quick. This works, but it's going to take a lot of work. That would have literally saved me time instead of chasing the shortcut, because the shortcut was fake. It was a mirage. It wasn't real. It's so important. That's why I like to share this, right? Like, if you really wanted to, how bad do you want this, right? You need to want it bad. If you just kind of don't really want to put in the work, you don't really want to spend a lot of time learning, you don't want to accept that you're going to make mistakes, you don't want to have the discipline, that's fine, right? There's no problem with that, but it's going to be really hard, right? It's like, I always compare it to going to the gym. Do you want to get ripped? You want to get jacked? Don't really feel like going to the gym sometimes? Don't really feel like eating good? That's fair. That's fine. Hey, I think most people are, their base is that, right? But that's fine. Just understand it's going to be harder to get in shape. It just is what it is, right? It's just the facts are the facts. I wouldn't even say one's wrong, one's good. One's wrong, one's right. You just have to understand, like, your input equals your output. So there you go. Let's see. Trading is boring. Get a hobby or toy like a gold detector. Shout out to Stupid Bitcoin. I actually have a couple of shorts on my channel where I literally was just trading live, recording myself. And it's like, all right, guys, here we are. See the confirmations. And I sit there and it's in 50x speed. And I'm just sitting in my chair. I'm on my phone. I'm spinning around in my chair. I'm just sitting here and I'm like, this is the reality of trading, guys. It's pretty boring. I'm not sitting here clicking buy, sell, active, right? And that was like a day trade. You're just kind of sitting there waiting for it to play out. Sometimes price chops around. Sometimes you get in, and boom, your trade plays out right away, and it's beautiful. But sometimes you get into the trade, right? We'll just say, hey, I'm going to take a long position here, right? Take it. And then sometimes price just goes like this for the entire day. And then you wake up next day, New York open, boom, you hit. Or you get stopped out, right? But this is very boring. Just set your alerts. Look for your confirmations, set your take profit, set your stop loss. Go do something with your time, right? Don't stress out. People always say, what do you do in drawdown? What do you do when your trade's in the red? Nothing. Right? Just sit there. The only thing that happens is it's going to hit the stop loss or hit the TP. So don't stress out. And it's also very mentally exhausting staring at the 1 minute time frame, babysitting your trade. You don't want to babysit your trades. If you babysit your trade, it's going to drain your energy. It's emotionally exhausting, and that is going to harm you in your trading journey. So anyway, this is real talk, bro. Thank you. It was much needed. Yeah, shout out to AK-47. It was hard, guys. It is hard. I'm never going to come up here and be like, get rich overnight, right? Like, we give the trade setups. We give the strategies, right? Premium Discord gets the spoon-fed trade setups. I update them on pretty much everything I'm doing. But they, oh yeah, shout out to Tony D. Thank you for that, bro. I'll do the thing right now. What's the thing? But it's speaking of the Premium Discord. It is, I could give the setups. I can give the key levels. I can't thwart. Is that a word? Thwart? I can't trump your emotions. I can't force you to stick to the plan. I can't force you to have the discipline. I can't force you to not get emotional. That can't be forced. You have to have self-accountability, right? Like, you can get a perfect setup. If you don't have the discipline to take profit, move your stop loss, or just take profit in general, or set a stop loss in general. If it goes against you, right, there's no 100% trade setups. It might go against you. If you don't manage that risk, no one can force you to put the stop loss. No one can force you to watch price approaching your entry and go, I'm going to move my stop loss down because I don't want to lose. Stick to the plan. No one can force that. That's the hardest thing to do in trading. It's like going to the gym. It's the best way I can say it. It's easy. Go to the gym, work out, eat right. Simple. 3 steps. Stay consistent. 4 steps. You'll get jacked. Over enough time, you're going to get jacked. You're going to get ripped, lose weight, whatever you're looking to do. It's not easy. I'm tired. I don't want to go to the gym. I'm tired right now. I don't want to go to the gym after this. I'm just going to do it, right? No one's going to force me. Mrs. Candles might come in and say, hey, go to the gym, you fat whatever, you fat candle. But I could just be like, no, get out of here. I got to do it to myself. I got to be my own parent. But shout out to Tony D. Yeah, let me check the bat phone here real quick. All right, there we go. Tony, I guess you're going to drop the coupon. Let me know. We have a little coupon for the Premium Discord just because we're feeling saucy today, guys. 10 coupons, $15 off your first 2 months for the Premium Discord. Tony D just hit me up. He's like, hey, let's do some coupons. I was like, all right, cool. Let's do it. We love the Mafia. So it's funny I was talking about the Premium Discord, though. So there you go. Tony D is at a coupon code. How do we do it? Let us know. You can't learn trading and working out at the same time. Both are time-consuming. Yeah, working out is super time-consuming, that is sure. Especially, like, learning the right stuff, right? Like, macros, all that stuff. But anyway, 2025 made me a better trader than any year in the last 25 of my trading career. Hey, shout out to Fred. That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. They say, what is the saying? There are weeks where decades happen and decades where weeks happen. So maybe the first 2 decades, not too much. The last 7 years, 6 years, huge progress. There you go. Or the last year, right? All right, you can only lead a horse to water. Absolutely, absolutely. It's a good way to say it as well. But yeah, guys, we took a look at the altcoins. Other than that, somebody asked for PopCat. I don't know if they're still in here, but let me just take a quick look at PopCat. I'm not gonna do like a ton of requests today, just because it's like all the big altcoins all look the same, and obviously, like, the most important thing to watch is Bitcoin, right? Because if Bitcoin dumps the bed, probably altcoins are going to follow, right? So, like, I'd be more interested in checking out, like, it's the same thing with Bitcoin. It's like, hey, guys, let's check in. We looked for this yesterday. We're getting the push down. Beautiful. But, like, if we get to the key level, now that's where, hey, let's go to the altcoins. Are the altcoins hitting the key levels? Are the altcoins getting the confirmations? Is Bitcoin look good for a bounce? Well, then you could start to look for the bounces on the altcoins if Bitcoin looks good, right? And I will just cover this, guys. Like, is it impossible to just scam up from here? Again, the market side for B bearish 116s do look like they're setting up. You do have a little green dot here looking to print on the 4-hour. I would be viewing that as a retracement, right? Now, what is that key level? The same key level or similar key level that we looked at yesterday, right? We obviously pinpoint nailed it yesterday. I can't promise that's always going to happen, but, what would I be looking at? The big ones that I would look at is going to be, I'll just give it here. $786. Golden pocket. Let's pull this up on like a 1 hour, right? So you have the high, the lower high, the lower low. Yesterday, we pulled from the full high to the low. Pulling from here, pulling between this high and this high and this low is valid. Pulling from this high and this low is also valid, in my opinion, right? But generally, the first one I would look at is from the lower high. We come up in there, you start rejecting. There's really no reason to look at the upper one, right? Because you're rejecting the 786. So this fib that I would look at, yes, you can pull this fib, just like yesterday. Yes, you could pull this fib. Yes, you could pull this fib, right? So you can look at these, but the bigger retracement, just like yesterday, I'll have to come down to a much lower time frame, right? Just like yesterday, you could have looked at this fib. You could have looked at this fib, right? We could have come up and rejected from here. Sure, we could have come up from here and rejected, right? But the big retracement, the major retracement, I don't want to give a million levels here. I want to keep it nice and simple, is the full retracement, right? And look at that. Boop, boop. Perfect. So that similar context, that same level that I would look at, again, there's no guarantee you have to get up there, but if you do get a decent pump, this would be the first major level I would look at, right? Pulled from the swing high to the major swing low. This sits between 92,474 and 93,77. Again, for me personally, if I was not holding my short from higher, from the level that we looked at yesterday, I would be sitting here. I probably wouldn't be interested in those local fibs until I hit the bigger one. If it comes down from one of those local fibs, hey, I missed the short. I'm already too late. I'll catch the next trade. So there you go. 92,474 to 93,077. Those are going to be big levels to watch. And then, of course, your local range here. Key level, another key level that I pay attention to. Value area high. You got to get above here in order to even get a move up anyway. So, you know, that sits at about 92,114. And I would say if I were to look at a local fib, it'd probably be, right, because you come down, you get the lower high here on the value area high. This is typically, once you get accepted in here, can't get out, that's usually where you start to see the journey down to the POC, right? So I'll give you this local level for anybody who's interested. This will be like a local level, right? Sitting between about 91, call it like 91.5, 91.486 to 91.818, right? Maybe you continue the local trend, bada boom. And again, it's hard for me to say because I don't know what the chart's going to look like here. If we wiggle around here for a long time, and then we come up there, like money flow is going to look totally different. But if we come up here, there's no confirmations. I would sit on my hands, see if we can get above the value area high. If we do, I would look up here to the golden pocket 786. So screenshot these levels, screenshot these levels. And I'm just going to check. This is more personal for me. Yeah, 93K. You got a decent bit of confluence there. Yeah, I like these. These are definitely the bigger ones. So there you go. That's what I would look for on Bitcoin. Oh, there we go. Tony, shout out to Tony. Said monthly option only. Use code MAFIA15 for $15 off your first 2 months. There's the link. Shout out to Tony D. Thank you for doing that. So if you've been looking to try out the premium Discord. Oh my God, my head is pounding. Go ahead and check out that discount code. Multisig Dummy said I swapped two. Thank you for the super chat. Multisig said I swapped 2 BTC in 2025 for Link. Time to call the devs. Shout out to them. I want to talk to a manager. Multisig. What's going on, bro? Welcome in. Good to see you in here, man. OG of the Candle Mafia. Yeah, I'll try to call the managers for you tonight, bro. French Toaster dropping the candles in the chat, baby. What is going on? Hard thing, also fighting that feeling of needing to be in a trade. Pure greed, especially taking trades. Not a key level. Have to fight it. Shout out to Kalia. Kalia is in the premium Discord, and oh my God, my head. Kalia is in the premium Discord, and we have seen Kalia make such good progress. He came in talking about every beginner mistake, like, hey, like, can you tell me levels on the 1 minute? I want to get into some trades. And I tried to explain to him, like, hey, man, like, I wouldn't try to chase that right now. Like, learn the higher time frames. We gave him all the advice that kind of a lot of the stuff I just talked about today. And he took that advice and ran with it. And we're seeing him make huge progress. Shout out to Kalia, bro. You are like one of the Mafia success stories, whether you're making $1 million a year or you're not even profitable yet and you're just breaking even. Your progress is such a success story because you came in with the totally wrong idea and wrong mindset, just like I did. This is not a shot at you, obviously. Just like I did. Just like everybody does with trading. And the fact that you just kind of halted and skirted and made those changes is unbelievable, bro. I talk about you a lot. It's awesome. It can be done. Kalia, you're proof of that. Yo, shout out to Rudy. Said anyone who signs up for the Frankie Candles Premium Discord will get a free Frankie Candles face tattoo courtesy of me. Shout out to Rudy. Are you a tattoo artist, bro? Let's go. Please don't tattoo your faces. I won't advise that. But hey, we're all free humans. And shout out to Rudy. That'd be crazy. We already have like 3 people with CandleMafia tattoos. Shout out to them. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. He's one of them. Super cool. Never did I ever think I'd see the day where someone would tattoo my logo on their skin. Super dope. Shows the strength of the CandleMafia community. We're not just traders, right? Like, we stand for a lot here. Positivity and just not being a D-bag, right? And making money whether price goes up or down, most importantly. Hardest thing for me is taking profits. For example, yesterday I was up 40% on a trade and closed 25% on my position and set my stop loss to break even. Ended up only making 6% on the trade. Yeah, shout out to Trembler. And that's journal that. Write it down. What did I do? What mistake did I make? And like just mark it down. Internalize it. And then you might make that mistake 100 more times, right? Sometimes I make mistakes too, right? I'm not perfect even now. I make mistakes as well. And, you know, sometimes I say to myself, man, like, how did I make that mistake? It's like, I learned this years ago. But, you know, sometimes the emotions just get the best of you. We're human beings. We are emotional creatures. It's a real thing. So you're literally like fighting your own nature, which is part of the reason why it's so difficult. Shout out to Saeed, said, stop wearing the cap. The hair needs to breathe. I think covering your head with a cap for long is affecting your health. Shout out to Saeed. That might be true. That might be true. I actually used to have a science teacher that used to come around and take our hats off our head and tell us that we were already balding in 9th grade. I think that, I don't know. I'm going to look that up. I do wear it on stream. I actually don't usually have it on during the day. Anytime I go out or I'm on stream, I put it on. Because let's check the hair, guys. The hair's probably crazy right now. I need a haircut. Nah, not terrible. Not terrible. We can make it terrible. But yeah, yeah, totally. My forehead's getting bigger every day. That might be because of the hat, Saeed. That might be true. Oh, I'm not talking about your logo. I'm talking about your actual face. Yeah, drop that Frankie Candles face emoji in the chat. Please don't do that, for the love of God. Shout out to Rudy. He said, I'll pay for the face tattoos, Frankie. Anyone. Shout out to Chris. Oh, man. We got CandleMafia face tattoos is crazy. I'll tattoo your logo, Frankie. I got some spots left on my back. Shout out to Jesse. Oh, my God. Stacking up the nice toupee. Yo, it does low-key look like a toupee, bro. I'm not even going to lie. This is sus. Does Frankie Candles wear a toupee? Check this out. Yo, I'm never going to beat those allegations. That looks like a toupee. Hang on. Yo. Fiat, you might be onto something, bro. Don't out me in front of the CandleMafia, man. It's not a toupee. I swear, guys. I swear. Oh, God. Anyway, thank you so much for the Warbucks info and discount. Making money, bro. Yeah, shout out to Carlo. Yo, Carlos D. Shout out to you, bro. Yeah, that's another thing, too, right? If you're just starting out, I mean, listen, start on a demo account first off. Get used to the buttons. Get used to getting into a trade even with no money. You know, many different ways to trade. But, you know, one way to focus on the process is what I always say. Focus on the process. Focus on sticking to the plan, not moving your stop loss, being rigid in your plan, being rigid in your discipline. And, you know, even if you're trading on a leverage account, right, with a small amount of money, don't see the leverage as a gambling opportunity. Look at it, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the beginner series. It's called the only leverage trading tutorial you'll ever need to see. Watch that video twice. Leverage trading is not gambling unless you make it gambling. You have to manage the risk. But if you're starting with a small account, say you put $100 into an account, you have to be aware that you're not going to turn that. You're very unlikely to turn that $100 into $10,000 in a month. Yes, you could crank the leverage and try to get lucky. That is gambling. Nothing wrong with it, in my opinion. I mean, from a trading perspective, there's everything wrong with it. But, you know, no hate towards anyone who wants to gamble, but just know the difference. Like, hey, I'm gambling this. That is not trading. But start with a small account. If you make $3 on a trade, if you make $1 on a trade, sure, you're probably not going to make money because you're going to pay fees and all that. But let's just say you make $10 on a $100 account. That's 10% on the account. On $100,000 On a $100,000 account, that is $10,000, right? And you can just learn the process, focus on the percentages, and then chase more capital later, whether it's investing your own money into your own live account, using, I wish funded accounts were a thing when I was starting to learn how to trade. You could go on a funded account where you basically just either pay to take a challenge, or you could just buy an instant funded account with no challenge. I would low-key recommend doing the challenge because you want to prove to yourself that you can do it. You don't just want to keep buying instant funded accounts and failing and just losing them and blowing them up. You're still going to be spending money. But at the end of the day, you could use a funded account, get access to $5, $10, $50, $5, $10, $25, $50, $100,000. That's not your money. You pay a small fee, or relative to the capital you get, you pay a small fee and you get access to that capital. There's specific rules. You obviously can't just gamble on that account either. Watch the Warbucks video if you're interested in learning about funded accounts. But that's another way you could chase more capital. If you can make 5% on a $100 account, you can make 5% on a $100,000 account. The only difference is the 5% on $100 is $5. That's not going to change your life, but that's okay if you're just learning. Just think to yourself, I made $5. Pretend it's a $100,000 account. Just pay, I made $5, but that's actually, whatever, $5,000 on a bigger account. I could get that bigger account later when I can prove to myself that I could turn this 100 into 150, right? Then chase the capital. Don't freak yourself out by, don't start trading today and then put $10,000 of your own money in your account. You're very likely to blow it up, especially if you don't know anything. And it's all free here. You can learn it on the YouTube channel. You the one for me, Frankie. Shout out to Spaghetti Forgetti. Shout out to you, brother. It's hard to resist the urge to gamble on altcoins when it's going parabolic and nuking to zero. It's so tempting. You see the percentages, 50, 60%, and you just want to jump in. Jose, 100% factual. Very difficult. Like, for example, Zcash. This is kind of painful for me personally, guys. You guys, we talked about this. We talked about this on the live stream all the way back, and I think it was as we were topping out here, right? Looking at this daily bearish divergence. Higher highs on price action. I give a little update here on Zcash as well. Higher highs on our price action, lower highs on our momentum waves. As we started to come down, we spotted a golden pocket. I'm not going to pull the exact one, but it was right here. We said, hey, if you're looking for a bounce, this is the place to look. If this money flow is coming out at that point, right, this is an area where you would look for a bounce. Let me hide this real quick. This is an area that you're looking for a bounce. Maybe I will just pull the fib, right? There it is, right? You have the golden pocket, and even more locally, you have the golden pocket 786 here. I think we're actually looking at this. We say, hey, we're getting a pullback. If we start to pull back off this div, we want to watch this money flow. If this money flow starts to come out as we're bouncing, what do we anticipate from this bounce? When you are looking at this, what are you looking at? When you look at this, hey, golden pocket 786, higher low, higher high, massively bullish. It just pumped like crazy. Oh my God, bullish? Well, maybe, but are you expecting this, or are you going to expect a wiggle up, a lower high, and a lower low? Well, if that money flow is coming out, just like we covered, this is kind of the theme of the stream today, the stream theme. Green dot prints, sure you could get a bounce, but the money flow is indicating a rejection for a potential lower low. That would be the base case. And we talked about this all the way back here in the early December 1st. Well, we also saw the bear div as well. But what happens? We eventually end up getting the bounce, and we know that we're on the lookout. What's your money flow doing here? This money flow is clearly coming out. So we are saying, where are those key levels that we can look at for lower highs and lower lows? And can we look to short it? Absolutely, right? So we pull up those key levels. Shout out to the premium Discord. This was obviously a setup in the Discord that we took. And I did take this trade. I covered this on the live stream. I'm not going to cover the whole thing. But here's the first major key level. Golden pocket, 786 retracement. This golden pocket is the first place to look for a lower high for a dump, right? And even if you don't get the lower low, there's a very high probability that you could get the rejection here for a pullback. Why? Daily money flow is coming out. So we eventually get the push up here. Boom. And I'm not saying you couldn't trade in here. You could probably find some trades in here, obviously. But for the most part, this was the big macro level. Daily VWAP coming down. That means a red dot is about to print. We come on over to the 4 hour. We covered this live on stream. What are we getting here? We're pushing into our key level. We're sitting on our hands. Beep, beep, beep. Trading view notification. Bing, bong. Zcash hitting key level. Look for a short. Can we look for a short here? Well, what do we have? Look at the 4 hour. Zooming down on that time, on the lower time frames. Do we have any confirmation here? Well, look at this. higher highs on price action into the key level. Look at your momentum waves. Doesn't this look awfully similar to a bearish divergence? It does. And then we actually look at this live. I think we might have got, did we get one more push up? I actually don't even think we did. But there it is. There is the short opportunity. And now, look at this 4-hour money flow coming out. This is indicating, hey, maybe we can get a little continuation of a downtrend. When we come back up to the daily, boom, there's the daily red dot. I have a high time frame signal that we have hit key resistance with a high time frame bearish sign, which is the daily red dot. 90-minute money flow starting to trend out. There's a market cipher B116 strategy. And of course, you get the drop down. I actually caught this move, made a quick $3,000, tried to set a partial take profit, and it wound up being a full TP. Closed the trade in full. Unfortunately, the major plan for this, I'll even pull up the setup here, was check for the trade up here. Look for the short, right? Well, we talked about this in the premium. And this could potentially turn into a much bigger swing trade, which obviously it is continuing down. Right? How did we know that? Well, first off, it wasn't guaranteed, but we waited for the level to get hit. Did you hit the key level? Yes. Did you get a confirmation? Well, there's the 4-hour bear divs, again, with the confluence on market cipher B that I just showed you with the money flow. There's the dump. At this point, you're looking at that 90-minute money flow and saying, hey, if this money flow crosses red, I'm anticipating what? Continuation of the downtrend. What does that mean? It doesn't mean you're not going to bounce again. It just means you're looking for highs, lows, lower highs, lower lows. Lower highs, which was kind of wonky. Lower lows, continuing the downtrend. Money flow crosses into the red. And now, current update, we actually do have our daily money flow finally crossing into the red here. This could indicate, again, not only do we use the lower time frames to catch the entries, and of course I'm no longer holding this, but the original plan for this was, hey, this could eventually turn into a big swing trade, because if this daily money flow is just going to start crossing into the red, this could be the start of a macro downtrend. Could wind up turning into a massive swing trade. And we had that in the premium Discord. Just to kind of show you guys, because we have the coupon going on right now, but just to give the idea. Pushing into the level. We had the local levels. This is the one that I capitalized on, down to about $500. That was my take profit that I meant to take partials at. It closed the whole trade. Super frustrating, but hey, not too bad. Make it $3,000 in almost less than 24 hours. Can't really complain, right? Did I chase? Did I revenge trade? Did I chew up my account? No, I just made the money and I moved on, right? And obviously the plan there is that it could eventually turn it, or that was a different setup, but could eventually turn into a much bigger swing trade, right? If that daily money flow continues out and we break macro structure, we could be going down to 244. So we'll see. I don't know if that's guaranteed going to be the move, but hey, even then, right? Even just down to here, massive move, 14%. Was I FOMOing in on the long if I missed the long? No. I just simply sat on my hands, waited for the key level, looked for the confirmations, took it. If this, then that. Very hard not to chase. I understand that. Trust me. Shout out to Jose. I think he was the one that said that. Shout out to Brillo. Said, good evening. Great analysis on Zcash, by the way. I shorted this one from the highs, longed at the bounce, and am back in short. Let's go. Brillo, bing bong in the highs and the lows, baby. I love it, bro. I love it. 1/16 work for longs and shorts. Yeah, shout out to someone asked that. Thank you, Darren, for answering that. Yes, they work. It's just flipped upside down. For a long, you would want to see the 1/16 money flow crossing into the green with the green dots. For the shorts, money flow crossover into the red and the red dots, right? And then the red dot is the higher signal on the higher time frame. The money flow crossover is on the lower time frame. I have a tutorial for this in the beginner series. Anything I talked about today, guys, if you want to learn more about it for free, it's on the YouTube channel. Click the beginner playlist. Go watch through it all. You'll learn it all for free. But with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time we got for today's live stream. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you for hanging out with us here on this early live stream. I'm going to try to go live a little earlier in 2026, catch some of the earlier people that miss out on the being in the 545 live streams. We're not never going to stream it later anymore, but we're not never going to do it, but we're going to try to experiment with some earlier times. Some days maybe we'll go live later if price is going crazy, and hey, maybe the early streams, what are we at? We're at almost an hour and 45 minutes here, so maybe sometimes we'll just roll into the later stream. But super excited. If you guys are here just starting your trading journey, 2026 is your year to change your life. It's going to be hard work. It's going to take time, but you can do it. Trust me, if I could do it, you could do it. You probably have a better chance than I did, to be honest. But with all that being said, thank you for being here. Shout out to It's Happening. Shout out to Jesse. Shout out to Brillo. Shout out to Crush It Nasty. Shout out to Fred. Shout out to Nico. Said, I just made 3K on a scalp too. Let's go. Shout out to Nico making that money, baby. We'll throw some money for you. Come on, baby. Let's go. Let's go. I just got assaulted by that money. But shout out to you guys. Thank you for being here, Mafia. I love each and every single one of you. Hashtag short stream. Darren Does Sing says, mad love. Hasta pasa. That's all the time I got. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you just got here, scrub to the beginning of the stream. That's all I got. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the